So, onto another law of power. So, the 15th law of power reads, crush your enemy totally. And I don't know if this is necessarily something that you can apply to your life very, very strictly. I can't even think of an example, but I can think of some hypotheticals where it would make sense to crush your opponent completely. And what this basically is telling you, like, if you give somebody the ability to surrender, that hatred and that antagonism that they have towards you, that's going to fester, and for the rest of their lives, they're going to find a way to get back at you. For the rest of their lives, they're going to find a way to do this or do that. So if you're going to have a conflict with somebody, you need to make sure they're never in a position to harm you again. Like, if you're going to get into a full-on conflict, like, you got to make sure that that person's knocked out. You got to make sure that that person's not going to be able to wake up, pop up, and sucker punch you. So, like, if you get into a street fight, if you get into a fight, like, you need to make sure that things ended. Like, there's been so many times where I'm training MMA where I'm about to get the submission and I start to let up because I'm like, okay, this person's going to tap. I can feel how tight this is. And I'm let up, and then they get out, and I'm like, you didn't earn that escape, but, you know, we're just going to keep going. And it's not that they get me, but I give them the opportunity to submit me after this. And it's something that you need to learn from, because let's say you're in a position of power. Let's say you're the boss and you fire somebody, or you demote somebody, or you cut their pay, or don't give them this or give them that. Like, unless you completely get rid of them, you're going to have to deal with that person. You're going to have to deal with that person's anger. You're going to have to deal with that person's this or that. And if you do one slip up, if you make one bad joke, if you say one thing wrong, like, you're going to get reported to HR. And it's because that person had that angst against you. And let's say that person also gets promoted. Let's say that person is now above you. You're canned. You're fired. Like, that one slight against that person that happened 20 years ago, that's going to come back to bite you. And this is why it's so important to understand, like, when you're in a head-on fight with somebody, make sure there's no chance that they ever come back. Make sure that there's no chance that they ever start fighting back. And this is something that's so important, and it may only come up in some extreme circumstances. It may only come up in the cutthroat business world, or the cutthroat MMA world, but you got to make sure that that motherfucker's not going to get up. And this is a pretty fun one and a pretty simple one, and I like the examples that Robert Greene uses in this book, so go ahead, check it out. I'll leave a link in the description to the book, and yeah, I can't suggest it more. I love reading this book. I love books like this that talk about politics and strategy and how to maneuver your way in the corporate and the fake world, because for the longest time I didn't understand this, and for the longest time I was holding myself back. So go ahead, check this book out. Thank you for making it this far in the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.